Do you want me to just not talk? Or just to say a couple of like very like low-key supportive ums and ahs?
No, I don't want you to not talk.
Okay.
I just want you to try not to get overexcited.
Okay. Did you get any snacks?
Really comfy as well. I just got one chocolate bar.
Mm.
I was thinking about Guy Ritchie and all of those guys who are so cool and like all like stoic and not like suckers for cheap thrills and shitting on the orangutans while they just like stuff their faces. So I yeah.
Well,
also, the fucking
rock and
bag of
roll,
sweets was €3.80 for one of the bags that's normally like a couple of euros.
See, this is why I knew it. I
They
had
got you.
a jar of
Really cool.
noodles that I made last night because I made too many. Lovely, healthy soy noodles with some miso sauce. I was thinking about suggesting it to you so you could bring the noodles into the cinema and have like a good, wholesome, filling snack.
Early on in the film, you suddenly hear this, like someone had just woken up like super loud.
Whoa.
And it happened 3 times, and on the 3rd time everyone laughed. Someone basically slept the whole way through the film.
Like
classic.
me when we went to see Nida la Glisse. Remember, like that super hardcore movie about like extreme sports, and we were like in the front row, and I fell asleep.
Really good cast. The opening scene is an advert for Guy Ritchie's brewing company, Gritchie. And I think the pub is called Law of the Land. But it's it's tastefully done. Like it's not, to my taste, it's not like over the top or like garish or anything like that. It's just his products, and the protagonist walks in.
There's no picture of like his mum on the wall behind, in between. Like
I didn't notice one. It might have been.
That would have been a nice little Easter egg.
And then full spoilers. Yeah, you're comfortable with this. You haven't seen the film, but I'm going to spoil it for you.
That's fine. I'll probably watch it and enjoy it anyway.
Yes, full spoilers. The film opens. I mean, this is the first minutes of the film anyway, so it's not huge. So the film opens with matey protagonist Matthew Conaughey, who plays a character called Mickey Pearson. He comes in. He's like the boss. You've seen the trailer, like.
He's got his weed.
If you're going to be the king of the jungle, you gotta be a lion.
Yeah.
And he's got his White Widow super cheese. So funny that like the British sort of ism when it comes to cannabis of just belabouring the name of the shit like it makes any difference.
They just can't call it like 1, 2, 3, 4 into infinity, or even like this type of weed. They're like White Widow super cheese disaster.
Yeah, and like on this at the street level, people use impressive sounding names to try to shift more of their product. But anyone savvy, they're not. Anyway, so.
Yeah, but it depends, like, who, if it's, a lot of people would have made their would have been introduced to cannabis when they were like in their teens, and therefore that much more impressionable. So it kind of, that becomes something that they simply associate with it without ever sort of thinking too much about it. And then if they ever get into the position where they're trying to make strains to market to similarly impressionable youths, they'll do the same thing. They'll call it like...
Well, that did happen, didn't it? In Galway, there's a CBD dispensary called Little Callins, and they are using the sort of trappings of the industry when it comes to naming ganja to try to promote their strains, which have nothing to do with established names like Kush and all the rest of it.
No.
Booze.
But it's better than in booze. It's better than in Italy, where they call, what the word for vagina is in Italy, if you're trying to be all cute about it. Patata, which means potato. Yeah. But so, the movie I thought the movie starts with King Arthur.
Lei ha una patata grossa. Muy peligroso. That's it.
Cochon. That's French for pig. Yeah. So does it not open with King Arthur? It opens with...
No, I told you. It opens with an advert for Guy Ritchie's, but I didn't tell you this before. But what happens is the protagonist gets assassinated in the opening scene of the movie. He walks in, sits down, someone walks up and shoots him while he's on the phone. If
Guy Ritchie was just a little bit older, like Stan Lee's age, he could have come in and just been, that happens all the time in this pub.
But
That'd be kind of funny cameo. I'd like to see.
What, Stan Lee in a Guy Ritchie film?
No, Guy Ritchie, but like an old Guy Ritchie, being like, that happens all the time in this pub.
Yeah, but I don't think he would do a cinematic universe where all of his characters exist in the same universe and they can meet each other and shit like that, because that's a bit of a...
You need to have a couple more like distinct things in order to make the eye concept for that. Like Star Wars, you can have like a whole Star Wars universe.
What?
Star Wars, you can have a whole...
Star Wars, yeah, obviously is, yeah. But
even like the Avengers and stuff.
Why are you just saying the names of cinematic universes? The thing about it is, like, they tried to do that for horror, classic horror. You know, they tried to do with Tom Cruise, and it starts to become a bit of a see-through way of just spinning out your whatever your concept is into infinity, and you don't have to do original things and the rest of it. So I can't imagine a filmmaker like Guy Ritchie doing that.
'Cause he's got
although he's got integrity.
He's got super cheese integrity.
Yeah, but he does sort of have an opportunity to. He could, you know, all the characters in his films. A lot of his films take place in London, and you could start having Sherlock Holmes Easter eggs in modern film. Like something, I don't know.
Yeah.
A descendant of Sherlock Holmes like has a thing, and you could, and the fans, you know, they do munch that up. But I suppose he's not gonna. His fan base probably won't be pandered to that way either, although he might attract a new kind of fan base if he started doing that kind of shit in the industry.
What happened to Rock and Roller too? The real Rock and Roller. That's what I
don't think he'll ever do it.
Yeah, I think
maybe he might do it when they're all old. Don't know.
Yeah, when he's all old and it's just like a whole new range of characters. And they're all talking, and somebody has got like a great grandma who is like chained up and beaten, and like no one ever saw her again, and only at the end do you find out it's the hot accountant. No, that's what I mean. So it'd be years later, and it would be like, you know, the real rock and roller, whatever his name is. Fuck off, jog on, that guy. He's like he's
then
old
Toby
now.
Kebbell.
Toby Kebbell is like
the
old,
actor.
ancient.
And what's the
you don't
name of
even
the character
say
he plays? Johnny. What?
Seasons? No. Who's Johnny Seasons?
Is it Johnny? I only watched that movie a month ago.
But yeah, so it would have Tony Kebbell's character. Like, you don't even see him. Like, he's old, but he's got like Toby Kebbell's character, but he's got like this massive
I don't know
empire.
if you pronounce his surname Kebbell. It might be Kebelli or something.
But he's got a massive empire anyway. And you never even see him. But like, now and again, the loose ends get tied up via the like legends that the new protagonists, who are like 2 generations younger, like share in stories while they're like blasting the heads off somebody or like knocking back shots or something like that. And it's all done in like this really chill way, like this really like nicely integrated way, but without relying on the previous story to set the storyline for this movie.
Is that what you think of when you think Guy Ritchie, Anna?
Hire me, Guy Ritchie.
Well, is that the first thing that comes to mind when you think Guy Ritchie films? Shooting and drinking. It's not he doesn't make westerns, Anna.
Some driving as well. No.
Some driving as well.
Driving.
And what are like, how many Guy Ritchie films have you seen? All of them? You've seen all the Sherlock Holmeses?
They were really
You've seen
good.
Rock and Roller?
Yes.
You've seen Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch?
That was really good. I don't remember Snatch.
You've seen the thing he did with Madonna? But like,
I
people don't like it, but it's not widely available.
Oh, okay.
It's some kind of... I haven't seen it. Yeah. Anyway, the point is, what do you think, what would you say Guy Ritchie's style is?
British guy, topless.
Don't do this to yourself. Don't oversimplify it.
No, I'm just saying the word association.
British guy, topless, cheeky.
Cheeky, but in a seasoned kind of way. When
are they topless?
Seriously?
Obviously Rock and Roller.
Yeah.
But that's like, there's no
that's
amount of
the most
toplessness.
recent one I've seen. There's so much toplessness in it.
Yeah, in that one film.
Not...
But I'm saying across his films, like, what would you say? I mean, Aladdin, Hannah? Come on, what is this director's style?
The genius topless the whole time, Aladdin. He's ripped AF.
I'll give you that, but that's still only 2 out of however many. Quite a few.
So you have attractive men who are attractive not just because of their
He does like
physical...
attractive men, doesn't he?
He puts a lot of attractive men in there.
In Rock and Roller especially, he zooms in on collarbones and shit, and he's like, these men are good looking, healthy men. Yeah, all right.
apart from Toby Kebbell, who is like emaciated, but that's
well, you say he's not emaciated. You say that he's dehydrated.
Probably.
Yeah, but you were very sure about it when we watched Rock and Roll.
Nah.
You were certain.
No.
And you were not impressed.
That
you were
doesn't
like, look, they've made him dehydrate like they did to... Who was it else that they did to?
And then they fat shame him when he's had a bite of sandwich.
I think there's a chance he was dehydrated, but I don't think... I don't know why I'm speculating on this shit. Such like...
Well, they do
beta monkeys looking at the alpha monkeys, but I wonder what they're doing. Is it working? They're getting more pussy out of it, they're getting closer to the...
Maybe one day we'll get to bathe in their alpha monkey pool.
Closer to the fruit-bearing branches.
But, okay, so then what do I think? So I think, yeah, you have attractive men who are attractive because, you know, they're physically attractive, but they're also, like, smart, quick thinking.
Gorgeous men. Gerard Butler, Tom Hardy, Idris Elba.
All of them.
Toby Kebbell.
There's that one who...
A couple of mingers as well. He likes to throw a few mingers in there.
Just to accentuate the man.
Jesus, he's had Andre 3000. He's had Jason Statham. He's fucking had... Did you say Ray Liotta is a good-looking bloke?
I don't know who that is.
I suppose male movie stars are all good-looking, aren't they? That's just the thing. But he does get particularly...
I'm sure there are exceptions.
Has Brad Pitt been in a Guy Ritchie film? He hasn't.
No.
Why hasn't he used Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio in it?
Because they're American. They're doing their American thing. They're out there.
Matthew McConaughey's American. Matthew McConaughey looks as crisp as a £50 note in this film.
Does he?
It's crisp as a newly printed, newly minted. Yeah.
Just slightly with a light frosting of cocaine.
I don't think his cars are natural. But he does look good. Charlie Hunnam, obviously, he's got big ears, but he's good looking.
The thing about his characters is that not only are they so like physically attractive, but he makes them like, you never have like characters in the guy, or you rarely will have, unless it's like specifically to serve a purpose of something he's trying to do in the scene. Rarely will you have characters who are like, you know, just humming and hawing and oh wait, that's not actually the word that I meant. And whoops, and I'm just fumbly and bumbly. It's all like, boo, 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 boo. Oh, I don't know about that, sunshine. Well, what do you think about that? Oh, good on you, mate. Blah, 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 blah. Witty and smart.
No one has ever said good on you, mate. That's an Australian thing to say.
No, but he says well done. In a way that implies a kind of good on you, mate kind of atmosphere. When Idris Elba is talking about how Gerard Butler took care of the other guy before he went into prison, but he doesn't actually go into prison. And he says, he was your best friend and you took care of him, well done. And that's the most manly well done. Like, just like, well done. Like, that's it there. I love that.
And now look what Idris Elba's done. He's humiliated himself in Cats. Do you realise that Cats...
Look what you've done.
You found a way to shoehorn it in. No, there's no way out of this. There's too many syllables. Just abandon it. He has absolutely... He's ruined his career. No one's ever going to hire him again.
Now your career is all gone.
I'm kidding.
Is that
Idris Elba ruined his career when he started trying to do grime with Wiley. Ballsy.
That wasn't so bad.
No, it was good. Listen, I can't criticise anyone for anything because I can't. I'm telling you.
No, you can.
That's why I'm That's why I'm doing.
You can still criticise.
Talking about movies.
You can. It doesn't mean that you should.
Yeah.
But you can if you want to.
No, Idris Elba.
That's okay.
I haven't seen it, but people didn't have. You know, Cats is
Cats. I think they should have just done special effects.
It's got 2.6. It's
like practical effects. I think.
Don't just. It's not just like, oh, it's not that good. Apparently it's awful.
Are you gonna watch it?
No, I wasn't gonna watch it if it was gonna be good.
No, I wasn't gonna watch it if everybody liked it. But now that everybody hates it, I kind of feel like, oh, let's see what it's all about, you know.
Yeah.
You know what? As well, I bet that fucking years from now, people will be like going to the cinema dressed as cats. Like, you know, like they did with Rocky Horror Picture Show, just being like, oh my gosh, Cats, it's a cult classic, underappreciated for its time. That's the story. That's how it goes.
What was I saying?
He got as far as the first scene.
So yeah, so the protagonist, but you don't. It convinced me. I thought he had been shot, but you find out later in the film that he had not. But it's filmed in such a clever way that it's convincing. It seems like there's no way he can.
Why are you doing that?
I don't want you to bother my screen, but this is for The song I personally didn't like the song that he used. I think it was easy listening. I don't know the song, but I didn't like the first song, which I was surprised by. I love all the music in Guy Ritchie films, and so I was surprised at that. But I bet that song's gonna grow on me when I listen to it again.
She's just making eye contact with me and digging her claws in more and more. But we're friends, remember? Stop glaring at me. Oh, you. Look, she's doing it. She's just. And then her eyes get like tired. She's such a bad cat. It ruined the day.
I didn't like the first song, Anna, but then every other song I did like. And there's I believe, Mancunian musician called Bugsy Malone.
I don't think, yeah, okay, I don't know him.
He's a dirty, great black bastard. That's the thing about Guy Ritchie, Anna. When Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels came out, people were still using VHS.
Yeah.
Like, I think I saw that on VHS. And
that was a long time ago.
So Guy Ritchie has been with me since I was in high school.
How old is he now?
What, Guy Ritchie? I would imagine he's in his 40s, is he? Or perhaps even 50s.
Oh, yeah.
So Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels was like a smash hit when I was in high school in England. And like, you know when something, it's like sets a standard and it changes the landscape culturally, literally, and artistically and cinematically. Like, a new standard has been set, and you can't make shit London gangster films anymore.
He raised
because
the bar.
they'll be in contrast to this. Yeah, so.
I think Avenues and Alleyways. It's like
great cast and fucking wicked story and everything, and everyone loved it. Started Jason Statham's career.
Jason Statham is funny.
But then he followed it up with Snatch. So just
like, boom,
killing
boom.
it. Benicio del Toro, again, just amazing cast.
Mm-hmm.
And like his style is established at that point. He's a great writer, and his dialogue's really good. And it goes on that thin line of like not being too grandiose and self-important, but still getting across quite lofty idioms. No, quite lofty
concepts.
Not lofty. Yeah, it's quite complex philosophical concepts about life and death and establishing yourself and like all sorts of things, masculinity and stuff like that, you know.
How great. The thing is, I wish I had more to contribute to this, because I only remember seeing Rock and Rolla because we saw it recently, and I know I've seen all the other ones. Don't remember. It's not the Sherlock Holmes with Iron Man, is it? It's the other Sherlock Holmes. Oh, it is with Iron Man. Okay.
There is no other Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, there's a BBC one, and we saw a little bit of it.
Well, I don't rate any single. I'm sure there are. Who's the fucking guy's name? Basil Rathbone. I think he was a good.
That's Sherlock. A great name.
But
that's such a good name, Basil Rathbone.
Yeah, I think he was in like a TV Holmes. And that might have been alright. They're doing. I really hope they're going to do Hound of the Baskervilles for Sherlock Holmes 3. I got a feeling they are. I don't know why.
Do you know? No, I never read Hound of the Baskervilles.
Really?
But I do remember from this amazing movie that actually I'm going to write that down as well because we have to get it for Shay. And it's about like this kid who goes into the land of stories. Okay. And it's all cartoon, but then he goes into the Hound of the Baskervilles and he gets chased by a gigantic hound.
Oh my god.
Of the Baskervilles.
Oh my god.
It's pretty cool.
Alright, so, but all I'm going to say is, whenever some content creator does something new, I don't know whether or not they're going to have slipped off, Anna. Yeah, gone soft, fucked up. And there's always that little bit of trepidation, especially. I didn't love the trailers.
No, me either. I mean, I
did like the trailers, but I didn't love the trailers, and I was surprised. Surprised, I think. I thought I would love them.
I didn't love Matthew McConaughey's the way his character came
No,
across
it
in
seemed
the
sort of
trailers.
a bit
Like he was going back on his reconnaissance.
apathetic. His character seemed just sort of a bit disinterested and just sort of...
Not
I don't
really
know what that
meaty.
is.
Like
Yeah,
the
he
one
did
thing that's
seem-
really good about Guy Ritchie's characters, his male protagonists, is how meaty they are. You know, like they're sweaty, you're zooming in on their collarbones, but they're not just meaty physically, they're like, they've got like, well done, they're like, they look in the camera and they're like, I've got that presence and here I am.
So, I guess you're saying masculine protagonists.
Strong masculine energy, like not just physicality.
Has he had a female protagonist? I guess he does. Jasmine is sort of the protagonist in his Aladdin. Like Aladdin's...
And she's got that strong
sort of
energy
her
as well.
assistant, really, and we spend more time with Aladdin and the genie, I suppose, than Jasmine. But Jasmine is sort of the more together and focused and like
composed leader.
like sound. She's a sounder.
She's got like this. These are my values. This Aladdin has got the character arc, which makes him a compelling protagonist. Where he's like, he starts off, he's like, this is what I am, and I've got a good attitude. Then he's got a challenge, and he kind of loses it, but then he's like, ooh, now I come through with the goods, and I've got a reaffirmed sense of what's important. But then Jasmine is just like the whole way along, which perhaps doesn't make her such an entertaining character to
She's
watch
not.
her
She's
transform.
got a really interesting arc.
But she doesn't.
She goes from submissive to...
Yeah, but she's always got that fire. That's the thing. Like her trajectory is kind of like upward the whole time, and I think that's a good thing about her. But but I think that's a good thing about her. But she's the same person the whole way through, but just eventually she's like, now it is my time to break free. Come the moment, come the woman, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's never like in question, like, can she do this? Should she do this? It's other people don't recognize her, and then eventually there's an opportunity for her to prove herself.
Does he have strong women in his films?
Yeah.
No.
What about the accountant?
What accountant?
Well, in the other one, you know, the sexy accountant who the Russian falls in love with.
Yeah.
Whose name is...
Oh God, you never find out what happens to her, do you?
That's what I was saying about the concept for the next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be like, it's like her granddaughter just alludes to her, like in one casual moment, like, yeah, no one ever saw my grandmother again, but that's it, you know, and then eventually you piece it together in a mastery of detective work, which is like, you know, but you've got everything set up for you. That'd be so great. Hello, Scrambly.
Scrambly's your gorgeous beast. Oh no! Oh, Scrambly's. Go on then. You can come and sit next to me if you want. Too squiggly on my legs. Yeah, so
I love that song.
masculine protagonists.
Yeah. Strong protagonists that you can look up to and be like, I'd like to be like them. I think like a lot of
They're always violent. What are you talking about?
Well, no, but he often will have a character who, like, his protagonists will have like many redeemable features.
Okay, that's different.
Even if
though.
they're violent.
That's
like,
different though. His characters can do admirable things, but they're always sort of underworld, violent, and I don't think...
With dynamic style, though.
He does sort of glorify violence as well. And that, perhaps, philosophically, is his downfall, because he does glorify violence. But for me, his characters, like, while I do admire them, they're like cool and witty and stoic and brave and tough and strong and all the rest of it. Because they're violent and ultimately they're not admirable for me.
Well, you don't have to admire somebody as in their
non-violent.
totality. You can start talking about.
Yeah, but whether or not they are admirable. Yeah, well, you can't help yourself, Anna. Trying to dominate me all the time these days, just interrupting me every other fucking sentence I say.
Woof.
Okay, so we've established that masculine. Yeah, what else?